Are we live now? Oh my gosh. Here we are, live on Easter Sunday, where digital services all over the world are taking place. It's not COVID Sunday. This is Easter Sunday.
Resurrection Sunday.
Resurrection. He got up. Well, he's been up. He resurrected a long time ago. And I know Easter's the day where we put the most, we recognize it the most, but, what Jesus is doing and his power and his presence and the fact that he died for us and gave his life for us and then he rose again with all power, that is important every day. Every single day, that is important.
Amen.
But, this COVID-19 thing hasn't messed us up. I think the best thing that it's actually done is now that since we're supposed to be at home more, God is wanting to build the church and build everybody from the absolute foundation. And what is the foundation? Your home. So, a stronger church. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing?
Hey.
Hey, Samantha. You're not going to build a stronger church or any greater community organization that you're trying to do without having stronger homes. So I think that this is a wonderful thing that we're at home. We haven't gone crazy.
Not yet.
This is, hi, do you go to, I think you said church?
Church.
Yes. Hey, Marisol. Hey, Kelly. All kinds of people were popping on. Hi to everyone. Yeah, we go to Church of the Living God. It's a bilingual church, and in Spanish it's, oh my gosh, Iglesia del Dios Viviente. Oh my gosh.
How am I gonna? Seeing you, Stephanie.
Yeah, I miss you, Stephanie. Oh my God, people are gonna stone me that for one moment I forgot the name of my church. That's only because we're live right now, so it was a mental live blurb and not like I didn't know my church. My pastor's Pastor Anthony Ramos. He's wonderful. We love him. Love the whole church family.
Man.
Hey, Kelly. So yeah, we just wanted to come up on here and just give some encouragement. Talk about how life has been for us, like during all this COVID-19 stuff. I know, it was it 3 weeks ago or a month ago now that we got sick?
It was about a month ago.
Yeah.
About a month ago.
Oh yeah, like March 12th or so. Yeah, we got sick, and so we were off work for a couple days, and then it took me about 3 weeks or so to just not feel weak anymore. My wife's been kind of up and down in her immune system, but now, and our jobs have both just been like, you guys are working from home, so.
And then my hours got cut from 40 to 24, but we're at the house, and I had to go to the office for about a week longer than he did, but they had us set up to where we were all isolated. So all I had to do was go in the entrance, go to my office, and then go to my corner and then stay in the corner. And then he started working from home. And then I started working a few days or maybe a week after he did.
Yeah.
And so I'm in my office space. Well, it was this whole ordeal though, because he was working in my office, using my computer and stuff like that, but then work had us bring everything home, like all of our equipment and computers and all of that. So then I had to set up in my office, move my computer and him to our studio / guest room, moved him in there, and so we're working in separate home environments. She kicked
different. Me out of her office. She was like, now that I'm working from home, you're out. And I'm in. I'm like, no, I've been using your office. I love it. She's like, no, I don't care if you're my husband. Get out. And I was screaming. I beat the wall. I rolled on the floor. Okay, none of that happened, but it sounds exciting. And definitely sorry, Kelly. Yeah, you mentioned your hours went from 40 to 5.5.
Oh, goodness.
Man. Yeah, this thing is, if you look, it doesn't matter what's, how much income anybody's making. There's people who are rich who, because of this, that money's changing. People who are middle class, low class, and it's just affecting everybody in different ways. So I think we're all doing our best to endure. I think the biggest thing that I think God is teaching us is that you can do more with less. Mm-hmm. Since the hours have been getting cut, we had to make some adjustments. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I need to be better friends with tap water instead of getting. It's all great, babe. I used to always, buy like 6 cases of bottled water and stuff like that. And she did file for unemployment.
Sign up yesterday and then filed for this week, this morning. So he's still got full time.
Yeah.
Mine got cut almost in half. So they gave us the information on how you could file even if your hours were reduced due to COVID-19. Our whole department got cut, and there were some that had been there longer than me that got them cut completely. And so I'm just thankful that I still have the 24.
Because it's better than 0.
Exactly.
So, and by the way, Abraham, I saw you said tap water. Yuck. Hey, this is Oregon, Our tap water is actually drinkable. So, yes, Oregon tap water, you can survive on it. I know it is different in other places, but Oregon tap water, you can do it. And I have been making it work. But yeah, we've had to just make some adjustments.
For me too, Kelly, that was the first time. That's the first time ever that I've filed for unemployment. So, but thankful that, I've still got some hours at work, and then that if we can do this, then they'll be able to supplement some of that we missed. So we're just thankful, through everything that's going on.
And we still love each other. Like, I know a lot of husbands and wives are like, oh no, I've got to be in the same room with you for all this time. Like, even though I know it's not how it can be, but marriage has its peaks and marriage has its valleys. And sometimes, I think we all have our moments where we want distance.
Kelly said no nasty water.
No.
I know someone who bakes.
Yeah. No, but we all want distance from our spouse, and sometimes, our spouse can be annoying in certain moments. I know there's been times where I have gotten on her nerves, and, she's patient with me, but, we're learning, we're adjusting, we're taking it day by day.
We sat down earlier just to get her angle, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, this woman, I gotta say, God really blessed me. He really favored me with her. Because when I look at where my life was, and I've said this analogy before, I should sing for her bakes.
Bake, like for me to bake something.
Oh my gosh, like, bake me some cookie, yeah. Okay, see, that was a cookie baking song. But yeah, I gotta say, like, my life before she came into it, there was a lot of ways where you could say that my life was like in black and white. And the difference is between black and white and color. And so when she came into my life, she brought color to it. She brought a new perspective to it. She brought more love to it. And I'm learning. I am learning. It sometimes it's a crash course. And anybody who's a husband knows that sometimes we bump our head like extra amount of times. But when you have a really good wife, she's patient. She's learning to love me. I'm like, wife Audrey, I'm complicated, and I try to give her insights into how I think, into how my mind works, so that she can better.
And sometimes I'm like, that's still not right.
I know. Still, she'll be like, even with that new data you provided or that new instruction manual for your mind, no, you need to make an adjustment. So, I'm continuing to make adjustments. I was single for like most of my life. I had a couple people,
years.
Or so, 36 little people popped in, little mini baby little relationships. But when she came in, that was my first like real relationship. When I say you can go to Target and buy a faucet filter and install, save on buying one. I can do an advertisement for Target. Target, go there right now. You get the best deals at Target. That's maybe a future sponsor, Target, if you're watching, just in case.
Oh, he said, get one of the the filters.
Oh, filter, yeah, I saw
the faucet.
No, I saw that. He wasn't wanting me to promote Target. I don't think you work at Target.
He doesn't want you to promote tap water.
Oh my gosh, he's trying to protect me. Okay, I appreciate the protection, brother.
I'm sorry for the coughing, you guys.
No, it's okay.
I apologize.
And she, I guess when she went to the doctor the other day, they said she had something called pleurisy, which is like, what is that?
Inflammation.
A little bit of inflammation in the lungs.
And then like a post-viral syndrome.
Post-viral.
Because I've been dealing with, even though I kind of got over the initial like fever and stuff like that, I was having like I'm still, I mean, just like extreme exhaustion of like, I am so tired, like exhausted. And then I was having trouble like breathing and almost feel like, you know, if you need to cough, but I couldn't get my breath to cough. Like I couldn't breathe deep enough to cough. And so I had to go to I think I've been to the doctor like 5 times in the last month. I have been to the doctor so much.
Yeah.
But with everything that's going on, in our world right now, you've got to make sure that, you know, you're taken care of and you're protecting yourself the best that you can. So, you know, we went back and then, you know, they gave me an inhaler and gave me some other instructions on kind of how to deal with everything. And then she's like, you probably need a couple more weeks of just rest. I'm like,
You want to go outside.
like, what in the world? And then, you know, pollen is really high right now.
Sup, Aurora, hey.
Pollen is really high and I have allergies. And so it's like, I can't really be outside and breathing the air due to like all the stuff going on in my lungs and then allergies. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Because she gets allergies, then she can't breathe. So then she'll go out there, not have to worry about the virus, but then those allergies would just jack her up and then her eyes will be all watery.
And so
then,
it's like, she's like, oh, you need a couple more weeks to, you know, just rest.
Hey,
and I'm just like, oh my goodness. But anyway, I'm just trying to do the best that I can.
Yeah.
We haven't like gotten to, like I haven't participated like with Sister Aurora, who's online, like singing with our online services and all this, just because the breathing issues I've been having and coughing and
this virus has been affecting people in different ways. I guess the doctor told her that, you know, it's just been unique. Some people don't hardly have any symptoms. Other people, it affects them in a whole different ways. So you don't want to judge anybody else's situation based on maybe how you made it through. Hey, Sister Natalie.
She said some people pass it just like a cold in like 2 or 3 days, and then you may pass it like a cold and then have extended things like the exhaustion and like the lung issues like I've been having. We miss you too, Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to hearing you sing for Easter.
We're going to see you again. Believe me, in person. It's going to happen. This distancing will end. But right now, we're just...
But anyway, it's just like, you know, everybody's got to do the best they can right now and try to stay healthy and stay safe and just trust the Lord. That, I mean, it's so many things are still happening good in the middle of, like, things that we've never experienced before.
Amen to that.
I mean, in the middle of what you're going through, you find that you have strength that you didn't know you had. You find that, like he said, you can live on less. Like, you know, like you can live not going out to eat.
Oh my gosh.
You can live like not.
You can live
going shopping. Like
less
there's
McDonald's, less Burlingtons.
All
you can
these
make
things
it
that we're used to doing, and it's like it's part of our daily life. You find out that you can find other things to do. We've never really played, like, occasionally. Okay, he loves video games, and so we've always kind of, like, played games electronically.
I love them in seasons. Sometimes I'll have this moment, and I'll just be playing. She'll be like, can you just change
But
it?
even if we want to play Monopoly, you know, it's like Monopoly on Xbox or on the Switch or something like that.
Yeah.
But we've been doing stuff, you know, playing dominoes because his family plays dominoes all the time, and we never play because we don't really know how to play really well.
Right.
So we play dominoes so we can like learn how to play. Excuse me, and play better so that when we do get together again, we can participate with them and we can play.
Yeah.
We've done other stuff like play Phase 10, play the Bible Challenge, and just do things that we don't normally do. I've got my adult coloring books and like coloring, you know, and just doing stuff that's like you don't realize that you can slow down and breathe and relax. and still enjoy life because we're so used to like going and going and going.
There.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to talk.
No. It's true. I mean, yes, life is like, we live in this, it's 2020. And, you just go back 10 years, life wasn't as fast as it is right now. We're used to all this information, always on our phones, always going out to eat, always going over here, always going over there. And now everything is just shut down. But I think God is bringing things back to the foundation again. Because if we, in our time, in our homes, can create, because God is a creator. And if we can go and be creative while we're in our homes and grow our relationships with each other, and I know we don't have any kids right now, but we're trying to be a better couple, and learn about our marriage, and I know a lot of parents are having to learn new things about their children, and your patience, I'm sure, is being tested. I mean, I have some sister-in-laws and brother-in-law, and they're doing their best with their children, and those children are just going crazy. But this just allows us to grow. When challenges come, it gives us an opportunity to stretch. It gives us an opportunity to see things from a different angle, to have a new perspective on it. So this whole situation with COVID-19, at the end of the day, if you let it, it's going to make you a way better person. Way more creative, way more loving, way more grateful.
I was going to say grateful.
Yeah.
I mean, so much gratefulness.
Grateful.
I feel like once we're able to go back to normal, there'll be so much gratefulness.
Yes.
Like things that we just take for granted, literally because, well, I mean, everybody's talked about the toilet paper, but it's for real. We've not been hoarding toilet paper. We never have. We just get toilet paper when we need it. We'll buy a case. It lasts us a month or whatever, and then we go get more. We can't even go get those cases of toilet paper.
No.
We have to go to the corner store, a couple blocks up from our house, and get a 4-pack.
There was
for
one
$5.
$5 for 4 small ones, not the mega rolls, but you know what I'm saying? But no one's ever had an appreciation for toilet paper. No one's ever had an appreciation for hand sanitizer. Bottled water. Like a lot of these things that people take for granted. Now we're just like, wow, and not only that, people took it, they didn't have a great perspective about people who worked in the restaurant industry or people who work at fast food restaurants. What's open? Restaurants for takeout and fast food restaurants. So we got these people working hard, doing jobs that you wouldn't want to do, but now, that's the only kind of food you're going to get outside of your houses in those places. So this is changing our perspective. It's opening our eyes to new things, and it's causing us to have a greater self-awareness. It's causing us to be much more grateful and thankful to God, because God has done so much for us. And sometimes we can have so much and get used to that we get spoiled, or we can get a spoiled mentality. That may not be everybody, but I know myself, and I can be like, oh, yes, I'm used to this, or I can do that. And then suddenly, hours at work started getting cut, and all these things started happening. I'm like, oh, wow. And I told my wife, I'm like, man, once we get our good groove financially again, it's going to be way different, because in this season where we have less, we're doing more with less. So once we have more, that'll be even better. We'll be able to give more to people, to help them, and be able to invest more, save more. I'm sure this is an eye-opener on saving to millions of people.
And it was really scary for me, because I had just started my job. I was in the second week of my job, because I took off last year to finish school, and so I'd not been working since May, and then March 2nd was my first day at the new job at the hospital, and so it was the second week that I started getting sick, and I was trying to make it, but then towards the end of the second week is I just got so sick that I had to I couldn't go to work, especially then when I was running fever. But they were so kind and so understanding about it. And God just blessed me with this job this is the job that I've been wanting for a long time to go into, finishing school and, finishing my degree and all of that. And so, I was so happy, but they were so kind. They were so nice. They were like, don't worry about it. we're not even going to mark this against you like an occurrence on my attendance or anything like that. So I was really thankful for that. And then to have the opportunity to move home,
Yeah.
being a brand new worker and the lowest one on the totem pole, pretty much in the department, getting to move to the house. And then the fact that there were people that got hours cut and I didn't. I mean, I got my hours cut, but only about half, and other people that had them cut entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm so thankful. Like,
Yeah.
so thankful, and that I can just be in my house. I'm not having to go worry about interaction or anything like that, as far as like, you know, in the public with a lot of people, or especially at a hospital where a lot of people pass through. So I have been so thankful for my job that, you know, and I don't take it personally, even like the cuts and stuff, because this is not just me. This is the whole world. And some are having stuff happen, you know, way worse than we are.
Yeah.
And so I've been so thankful for my job. I've been so, and I think I told a friend.
Love you too, Jen.
Hi, Jen. Thank you. I told somebody, you would think that you wouldn't miss going to work, but after a little while, you miss going to work.
Yeah,
like,
you kind of
going,
do.
like actually get up and going in. And
Right.
I apologize, you guys. My eyes keep watering. You wouldn't think that you would miss it, but you do. You start to like miss that interaction with coworkers and stuff like that. But I'm just thankful that this is where God is our sustainer.
Yes.
This is where God, like, for all of us, is like carrying us through. He will. I mean, the thing is like, we look at God like to do a miracle sometimes.
Yeah.
But the miracle a lot of times comes from the fact that we got through.
Oh.
It was a miracle that we got through something and got to the other side.
Yeah.
That's a miracle by itself. Sometimes we're looking for God to just switch things so much, and that it's like this grand gesture of God's power. And
Right.
But no, we have to be thankful that we can make it through, even if it's on less. We have to be thankful that He sustained us. He gave us just enough.
That's a miracle right there.
Just like with the children of Israel. And they were in the desert, and God was giving them manna. Mm-hmm. And giving them the birds to eat. And it was enough for each day. It was enough for each day, just enough to get them through. So I'm thankful for God bringing us, just taking us through.
Love you too, Melissa. Yeah, God is showing himself just like he's showing himself as a provider. And it's interesting because, I mean, I know we've seen him provide before.
You're right, Jen.
Oh, yes, with real people.
We should all be nicer.
We have to be nicer, show more love. But yes, we're seeing God as a provider. And there's no way to see God as a provider unless suddenly you're in a situation where you don't have
be
what
in the
you
situation
need.
Where you need him to provide.
Yeah, and then we find out like, you know, we've been paying our rent. And yeah, we've had to tweak a little bit to make sure we do pay it. But when it's paid, I'm like, I never had a tremendous, huge appreciation for just paying the rent, you know, or paying this other bill. I'm like, oh my gosh, did we pay that rent? We did. We paid that rent. So we're just appreciative of those things. But yeah, God is going to show himself as a provider, and you're going to see him do that. And it's just going to, and it might not be like, I know we want somebody to you want to open up this mail and see this check for $40,000. That's not what God wants to do. He wants us to be blessed. But if he gives you $40,000, you might just forget about him because there's no more challenges. But if he gives you just enough, then you thank him for what you got. And then you go, Lord, I know you're going to take care of us. I know we're going to be all right. And he just gets you from stage to stage, from place to place. Yes, the simple things in life, Melissa, will be appreciated again. That is so true. That's what I'm noticing in myself. I didn't really realize how, I don't know, in certain ways I've been prideful. In certain ways I've been selfish. And this thing I'm just like, and not only that, in other ways, I know that I had not communicated so much with my family. Just don't know why. Just kind of got into a season where I wasn't talking to them all the time. There's nothing wrong with my family. My family's amazing. But we've been using the Marco Polo app. and we've just been sending little videos to each other. So like this whole situation is actually strengthening my relationship with my sisters and my brother. Before it'd be like, yeah, we see Simeon on Thanksgiving, or we see him maybe at a birthday party, but there really wouldn't be much communication. So I'm actually appreciating what this has caused in my life. This situation is putting people in the right place to fix things that need to be fixed. In the big picture on the news, they're going to say this thing is killing people. Yes, people are getting sick. Yes, some people are dying, but there's so many great things happening. There's so many things that, let's just say, are being influenced in a positive direction because of this. So don't be discouraged. Don't get bent out of shape, because this situation may actually cause you to focus on what you're supposed to be doing, or what you were meant to do, or, oh, I didn't have time to do this. It's like, you have time now. Like, oh man, I don't have time to get in shape. I don't have time. You can use your home as a gym. Like, there's all kinds of things that can happen. This thing is repositioning everyone. And so now this will also increase better unity among everybody, treat our neighbors better like God wants us to, gives us an opportunity to show the love of God. So, yeah, I'm excited.
I mean, and one of the things I'm most excited about is that it's pushing the church world to become more interactive, like through social media and online presentations and things like that. I mean, we have so much access. I mean, our own church is accessible online, but you have so much access to be able to like listen to preaching. Like we already did, but there's so much more.
Yeah.
And it's pushing the church to grow. I'm talking about like the church is the body of Christ. It's pushing the church to grow. It's pushing individuals to grow and families to grow. It's like so much that it's pushing people to just kind of step it up in a different way. You know, it's kind of like, this is where we are. So what can we do with what's going on in the world right now? And it's like, the gospel is the gospel, whether it's through online preaching, whether it's from a pulpit, whether it's from a Bible study one-on-one, like the gospel stays the same. We just sometimes have to alter our method of delivery.
Right.
And so I'm just thankful that it's pushing us to grow and pushing us to just to be better and do things in a way that when we're released from this current situation, when we're released from that it's things that can continue and can just enhance ministries and enhance churches and families. If we apply what we're doing right now, like playing games and talking and discussing and interaction with your family and things like that, if we keep those things, even when we're not so much like in quarantine at home, like it's just going to cause us to keep growing beyond this situation. So you're right, Melissa. It's like how many church services have we viewed or listened to today?
Man.
Like,
I mean, I listened to Pastor
and
Mike
we're not
Todd
done. The day's
from
not over.
Oklahoma. Then I saw the Fred Hammond did a worship concert on Friday for Easter. I watched that. I watched T.D. Jakes. He put up like a Easter celebration on YouTube. It's like called The Light, and there's some other titles. I can't forget everything else with it, but remember everything else. But yeah, he put up a presentation, and it was something he did maybe a year or two ago, but then he added some COVID-19 stuff in there to just weaved it in with what he did. So I watched that, or I'm still watching that, and there's going to be like another gospel concert. Jonathan Nelson's doing something at like 7 p.m. Eastern, I think, or I could be wrong. Yes, Pat, it's a time to learn and lean and depend upon the Lord more, and much more than ever before. And hey, Natalie, I try to hit the wave button when people come on.
Hi, Nat. Love you.
But yeah, we're leaning on God more than we ever have before. I'm just thankful. I really am. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my wife who's been patient with me, and my wife who's she's loving. You know, for anybody, you know, who doesn't already know, I mean, this woman, she's just amazing. Hey, Jewel. My wife, she's just amazing. She's a gift to me. Like, it's not Christmas right now, but every day she is a gift. And I know sometimes I can be stubborn, like my dad. He's pretty stubborn, and that passed down to me. But she's patient. I just tell her, I go, just be patient with me. I go, the version of Simeon that you have right now, he will continue to evolve. He will continue to upgrade, and he will get better than he is, and he will listen better. Because, us men, we're not the best communicators in the world or the best listeners. So we're continuing, me as a husband, continuing to work on my communication skills. And
I do too, though, because
she does too. She does.
And it becomes a different dynamic, even though we kind of doing our own jobs in the house and things like that. It's to be able to see each other all day.
Yeah.
Even when we used to work at the same place, our lunches were different, our breaks were different, things like that. So we weren't, and we worked a little bit separated, even though we were on the same floor. So we weren't really accessing each other all the time. So now, it's kind of I hear him talking in the other room, or then he kind of walks in there to see what I'm doing, and I walk in, I'll go by and see what he's doing, and different things, it's, you had the interaction all day, and then he may be on a break, then I'm on the break, and so it does create a different dynamic when you're all day in the house, all day, every day.
And we're just working on learning each other, and whatever things about ourselves that we need work, we usually just express it. If she says something and I receive it the wrong way or hear it the wrong way, I'll tell her, well, that was probably because of this from my past, or I didn't learn this, and if and vice versa. Marriage, man, I gotta say, when people say marriage is work, I mean, it does take work. It's not as organic as when you went to grade school and you hardly had to do anything. Hey, Ashley! Marriage is not as organic as when you went to kindergarten, and you don't have to really do much to get from kindergarten to 6th grade, or to get from 6th to 8th, or to get from 9th to high school. I mean, you don't have to really do so much. But marriage, marriage, you actually have to intentionally continue to readjust yourself. When the Bible talks about men, husbands, you gotta die. There's a requirement that we die to ourselves. And that just means even if I have desires to go this way, or this way to do it, or this other path, or my selfish ways, or whatever, I have to die to me so that I can do what's right for her. And that's not easy.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. It's
because I'm pretty strong-willed myself.
Yeah, she's got some strength in her, and I know sometimes I can really push her button well. We both know how. We both do know how to push each other's buttons. But I think the more we interact, the more we talk about it, then we can kind of unravel it better and go, okay, that makes sense because that reminds you of when this happened to you before. And so sometimes you're not always talking to your spouse. Sometimes, this is going to be interesting, sometimes you're talking to where they're hurt. You're talking to their wound, and you're not talking to them. So when you hit their wound, what you're getting from them is, ow. And so the response, they're not hearing you because you touched this hurtful place in them that hasn't healed yet. But as we go to those sensitive places in each other, recognize that they're there, and invite God into it and say, Lord, man, I got some things about me that are hurt beyond, I'm trying to tell my wife how messed up I am, and I can't describe it. I can't exactly tell her where I'm hurt. But Lord, we need you to come in here and heal me in my hurtful places. And for her, Lord, you know where she's hurt. You know where she's been hurt. And sometimes we get hurt in a way that
I'm just gonna love that. I'm gonna love see the hearts.
We can get hurt in a way that from prior relationships, and then we come into marriage. Here's my hurt from over there.
And those relationships can be a vast number of things. For some, it's a dad. For some, it's a mom or an uncle or a sibling or a previous marriage for some, or just a serious relationship. So a boss even. Like, there's so many things that for different people, it's a different person or a different situation or a different point in time.
Yeah.
What'd she say?
She said, and years from now, the foundation you built in your marriage during this time will amaze you.
It's
you are
true.
right, Melissa. It's like, I guess the only way to really build a marriage, at least from our perspective that we're learning so far, we're still newbies, but you can't always put everything under the carpet. You can't put everything, you can't just put we'll put a pin in that, we'll put a pin in this, we'll put a pin in this. Like, there's actually some things that have to be faced, and there's some things that have to be talked about. And it's hard because what marriage is requiring of you is like what God intended from the beginning. When he made Adam and Eve, they were naked and not ashamed. So they were naked, but there was no shame associated with it. But when we come into marriage, we have shame from other places. And so when you come into marriage, you're like, this is me. Here it is. And you're having to be naked, but when you're revealing your nakedness, you're feeling shame. But the reason why you're feeling shame is because that part of you hasn't been healed yet. But when you realize that it is there, it can be healed. It can be addressed. And sometimes you may have to talk to a psychologist or a therapist, or you might just have to pray or talk to your pastor, a leader who has the ability to help you like unravel or unpack all this stuff. So,
I mean, even for me, there's a situation in my life that occurred, and it was causing me a lot of internal like torment and stuff.
Right, Melissa.
And so, of course, my husband knew about it, and another person or two. But then I wound up like talking to my pastor about it because he was encouraging me not to have fear about certain places in my life. And so I told him one of the reasons, like what had happened that was affecting me so bad and tormenting me. And, he told me how he felt about it. And as far as like, this was not right and this was not handled right. And, that shouldn't have been done. But he's like, at the same time, you have to forgive.
Oof. The F word. You said the F word.
You have to forgive that person and let go of that situation and anybody else that may have been involved. Like, it was hard for me to even tell him.
Yeah.
And just put it out there of like, I'm feeling that I had to say, because as a child of God, we always hear, we've always been taught like, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a power and of love and a sound mind. And you, as a child of God, you shouldn't have fear. You shouldn't have worry. And so for me to even say that I was having fear and having uncertainty and was scared because like that I had to say it, like, this is causing me fear. Like, that was hard for me to even just put those words out there because I felt like I was wrong for even saying I have fear. But I did. But then my pastor reassured me, and my husband had been reassuring me as well, and had been praying over me. We've been praying together at home about the situation, and Pastor Ramos, if you happen to see this, we love you.
Yes, we love you, Pastor.
And so it was just, he said, talks about the scripture, it talks about like there is no fear in love. Yeah, there is no fear in love, and that perfect love casteth out all fear. Yes. And so, I had to forgive to start letting go of my fear. And so there's hard things that come up that it's difficult to like vocally say to your spouse or to a friend or even, the man of God in your life or whoever it is. But, this is a time that, we really have no excuse, like, not to pray and kind of soul search and
be open and be honest. It's hard for me. I'm sure a lot of men, it's hard to just open up. We can open up to a certain level, but then there's other places it's hard to to be a man and go, okay, let me just really unpack this thing. And then, trusting her that she still will show you the same level of love if you make yourself that vulnerable and that open with her. Like it's a tough thing to do, but if you have a wife who you already trust and she's already there for you and she already cares about you, then that means that she's a safe place in which you can be yourself. And when I say be yourself, that means you can express where you've been and express what you're going through and express, what you need. And we can't solve everything. We're always going to have something to work on, but we don't want to allow just some issue that is not right to stop us from moving forward in other areas. Because I know sometimes I could talk to her and be like, well, babe, this is not right like here. And so because this is not right over here, I can't go over there. She's like, there's no reason why you can't move forward and go over here and do this and be effective in this area. Like, you're always going to have something to work on. So if you put your focus on your weakness, if you put your focus on what's not right, if you put your focus on what is broken, if that's where you put your mind at, that will stop you from moving forward like you want to, and it'll stop you from going where you want to go. So instead, acknowledge where you're hurt. You work on that. Just like when a person who wants to get healthy or get in shape, they just work on it day by day. They do their push-ups, they do their weights, or they run, and initially their body is weak and it's not strong and it hasn't built up the strength needed to do the job. But after a month or after 2 months, your body is stronger, it gets better. And it's the same thing. Right. You just focus on where you want to be better, and the more you do the better, the stronger your better muscles get. And the stronger your better muscles get, then that makes your weaknesses and all that other stuff not as strong anymore, and it doesn't have as much power over you. So don't let any weakness or any issue or any addiction or any other thing make you think you can't move forward. Right. Just move forward, deal what you got to deal with when you have to deal with it, get help or talk to whoever you need to talk to move forward and to help you with your process of moving forward. It'd be nice if, we go to church and just after that service is over, our life is fixed. But that's usually not how it goes. If you go to that church and you're clapping, yay, and you feel good while you're there, and you're like, Jesus, you're so great, and you feel wonderful, that doesn't mean that God's going to fix it all in one service. He can
but
do
we
it.
Don't often learn what we need to learn from that.
No, it takes rehabilitation. It takes time. Like my right hand, my left hand was born small, so I've been using my right hand a lot, and I had the situation for everything, of course, because this one's small. So I had a situation where what did my therapist call it? What was it? Remember the thoracic outlet syndrome,
which took 1.5 years to even find that out. Yeah,
we took 1.5 years to find that out. Tons of doctors, and it just means that mainly overuse of this hand. And so I use this hand so much over years and years.
There's a nerve that's pinches up here that causes him to have symptoms with his hand, like numbness or pain, and
gets cold unnecessarily. And so it's because a nerve up here, right up in this area, that's being clenched, which causes problems all the way down to the hand. And so, but what's funny is I'm doing my physical therapy. I'm doing physical therapy to strengthen the hand. And initially, my hand would hurt doing stuff, right? And now I'm having to do what's that? What am I using? The elastic band? So I'm doing elastic band resistance and having to go like this. On the place that's weak, I'm having to strengthen it. So I'm having to go forward and then do sideways and go on the rear and then put it in a door and stretch it out like this and then go like this and go like that. So here I am having to use the hand that got weak because of how much I've used it in life. But yet I'm having to use the same weak place and do these specific things instructed by the physical therapist in order to get better. So it just tells you that even if an area has been made weak in your life, with God, He can help make you strong, make you better, help you heal from some of those weak places.
And you have to work on that place.
You got to work on the place. You can't skip it. Yep.
Yep, it has to be done.
It has to be done. So this life has got all kinds of things and lessons that it's teaching us and areas that we have to work on. We have areas to work on in the heart and the mind and the body, the soul, our spirit. There's all kinds of different categories and places where we need help in. And when it comes to like our soul, which is like our mind and our will and our emotions, when our soul gets damaged, we need God. We need him to heal that, because that's a place that no doctor's scalpel or, any medical tool can touch. You need God to heal the issues that are internal, those emotions that you can't seem to get past, and soul pain and things like that. And when you have negative connections to your past that you can't break, we need God to help us heal and to move past those places. So, yeah.
Amen.
Is there anything else we want to say on this Easter Sunday? I've forgotten what day it is, not because I love Jesus less, but
current situation.
Yeah, we're focused on God. And God wants us to celebrate his resurrection every day. It doesn't mean you have to always, when you see somebody, Resurrection Day today too, he's still alive. You don't
wave it.
Hey, Carrie. Yeah, you don't have to always, do that. But just, Jesus rose, and he's never going to die again. He paid the price for our sins once and for all, and so we can just be aware of that every day and not just on Easter.
Amen.
Yeah.
Stomach.
Oh my God. Did I burp on live? Oh my gosh. I stopped and then I'm like, ugh. I don't know if everybody heard that, but she heard it. Oh my gosh. I can't take it back. I can't go, cut, let's re-roll. Nope. That happened in front of the 6 people who are watching us right now. And the future people who will probably watch us. See, I think we went from 6 to 5 people. So that means that one person was like, he burped. That's it. So, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Well,
what
I was
you want to say?
I was just going to try to sing
a
little.
Sing a little.
Because, I love to sing, and I haven't been singing a lot. And then I did try to sing last night, and I was singing, and it just started coughing like crazy. But
I can give you a table beat.
And then I was trying to sing a little bit this morning, and I was having a little bit of trouble, what am I trying to say? Endurance on holding some notes out because my air was a little short. But I went through something I think I can sing this hopefully without getting into a whole
coughing
scenario. If I do, I'm so sorry. But this song that's been in my mind talking about just the goodness of God, because it's Resurrection Day, but everything that we're going through right now is for our good. Mm-hmm. God intends it for our good. Yeah. Even, physical situations, the situations in our world, it will come around to being for our good. Whether it's the end of time drawing near and the rapture, that's for our good. Anything that's going on, ultimately God means it for our good. And him dying for us, bleeding for us, being broken and bruised for us was for our good. Yeah. It was for our good. Because he said, I came that you have life and life more abundantly. And, his resurrection and ascending to heaven with the promise that he's going to return for us. It's all for our good. So
yes, it is.
I'm going to sing the shortness of this. Are you going to help me sing? Or
I'm just going to give you timing. I may join in. I'm using the table for rhythm. I may help her with harmonies while I do that. But you start it, and then I'll get that, and then I'll see what I can do.
All right. So, bear with us.
What are you doing first?
Lord, you are good.
Lord, you are. Lord, you are good. Oh, Lord, you... Okay, so... Okay. Speed. Yeah. Are you
should have your shaker. Yeah.
Oh, I don't have the shaker with me. Okay.
Lord, you are good. You've been so good. Lord, you are good. You've been better than good. I can't praise you enough. I owe you my life. I can't thank you enough. Even if I tried, 'cause you've been so good. You've been Lord, I love you more than anything.
Surprise unison.
Oh, I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. There is none like you. No one else can touch my heart like you do. I can search for all eternity long and find there is none like you. Oh, there is none
I'll join back in.
like you. Oh, no one else can touch my heart like you do. I can search for all eternity long and find there is none. No, there is none. There is none. Nobody like you. There is none. No, there is none like you. 'Cause you've been so good. You've been so good, Lord. You've been so good. You've been so good to me.
Okay.
God bless you.
Blessings. to
God is
everybody.
good all the time.
Yes. All right. Well, that concludes this live feed on this Easter Sunday. But just, hey, celebrate Jesus every day.
Amen.
He is a provider, and He's going to provide for you. He's going to take care of you and your family. No matter what's going on, He has everything under control.
Amen. We love you.
Love you all, everybody. Love you, love you.
Hope you have a great day.
Yes.